right, air gunners, it's that time again. It's the beginning of January. It is cold, it is snowing, so we're indoors doing power testing and the old open the box go through. So, Terry Fox sent me another toy. I love it. Christmas time is over, but Terry is still producing the Santa Claus special here. So, what we've got is the 51 caliber 510 diameter bullet rifle. This is the 51 bullpup Challenger Elite. This one's got the regulator built into it here, okay? I already did the 457 video. I tell you to watch it because it's going to be the same process on setting this up, tweaking the gauge, the little twister under there, valve, dial, Allen wrench, doodad setup, whatever you want to call it, professional terminology. And by rotating it clockwise or counterclockwise, you're going to decrease or increase the amount of pressure that is allowed into this little receptacle area or plenum. So, you've got a fill port here, right there by the gauge, and the slight difference on these is the probe is got threads on it. So you still got the little rubber O-ring that you're going to grease, stick it in, turn it until it locks tight, and that baby can stay there. Now you can either leave it in, and you can get a little dust cover to go on top of it, as just like a regular other brands that have the fill pressure permanently mounted. So the fill nipple will be there, sticking out from the probe, and it makes life a lot easier. Again, standard setup, comes with 2 magazines. You've got your plastic cheek rest or chin rest here, so you're not freezing your face. Bolt action, clicks, close, and then to uncock it, press the little button, push it back so you're taking the weight off the old sear, pull the trigger down with your other hand, let it come forward. Now it's uncocked. Picatinny rail on top, I believe 22-inch barrel, I think. Barrel length 30-inch. Let me double check. 30-inch. All right. It comes with the muzzle brake on the end here, which unscrews, so you can put a Donnie FL or whatever muffler attachment you want. I believe it's 18 by 1. We'll find that out a little bit later. And we are going to get this baby, get a scope on it, get it set up, and we're going to start running it through its numbers. Don't go anywhere unless you're going to get some popcorn and a sody pop. All right? I'll be back. So, gentlemen, what we need now is we need to take the muzzle brake off so we can put our donkey schlong on here. So, first what we need is a tool. Now, I have a tool right here. Now, these are on with Loctite. So if you have a hair dryer to heat it up, they'll unscrew much easier. But I don't have a hair dryer because I don't have any hair. Hence, the tool is not necessary. So I have this tool instead. Said, always make sure that your box is big enough to put your tool into. So, we'll get that on, gripping it. If you guys got a better way, please tell me in the comment section down below. It's on tight. Ugh. Give it a break loose, and then you start pulling it off. And you'll see the threads got a little bit of booger dew on them, so you can clean that off. And then you've got this secondary ring, I guess it takes up space. Get that off. Bingo. So you got 2 pieces off. Make sure that's all cleaned. You can put your donkey schlong. Now this is the great cami. I don't have a shorter one. And I got one from Neil Clegg. Both the donkey schlong and this one. It's a 51, so it basically can be 457, 50, which is the 495, or 51, the 510. So these will go on, or one of them will. And then I think also the hush can, I believe, can go on, because they're all 18 by 1. So it's kind of you figuring out which one you like, which one you don't, and so on and so on. So I generally like going to one vendor that carries everything, if it's possible. And I do believe that Terry sells assortment of donkey schlongs from the Big D man, along with the rifle and everything else. So the only thing missing at the moment would be a barrel adapter, and just our luck, we do have those. So we'll get that ready also. Barrel band, not barrel adapter. I'm such a dumbass. All right, so here's our barrel band from Black Arts Design. Now it's a little different from the other ones, okay? You've got a screw up here, a screw going this way, and a screw going this way. All right, you've got 3, because the muzzle of the barrel has got a bell end on it, and because of that, it's got to be a 2-piece design. Okay, so, and then we've got these 2 lock rings here, or spacers, that go into, dropping stuff, to go into these 2 slots here. Okay, as you can see, they're grooved. There's also an arrow on the inside of all the muzzle brakes. That goes towards the muzzle, okay, the bullet path, exit. Not this way towards you, but away from you, okay? David designs these specifically for this type of stuff. So let's move over and start to slip this stuff on. Okay, so you got the gold one here, silver one there, and if you notice here, they're kind of indented on the shape, where the flat side is in the front and the angle this way is towards the back. So we'll slide these little buggers here. This guy will go on this way. Make sure the arrow's pointing the right way, and this fella will go on this way. Okay, so that's kind of it. Now we need to stick your first one in there. This would help out if you had 3 hands or a prehensile tail. Okay, there you go. Just a couple of threads to get that started. And then got one under here. And this is that bell end I was talking about. You know, it's a okay, I think I got that one started. And then we'll come over here and get the other one in. There we go, get that snug. And get this one snug. It's kind of awkward doing it like this. Now, I'm not torquing the barrel or anything, so it's just as it is sticking out. Okay, this one's not even. There we go. That one's tight. tighten this one. You don't have to torque the heck out of these things to make sure they're snugged. All right. So, one barrel band is on. Okay, excellent. Thank you, David B. at Black Arts Design. Okay, so now we're getting the old schlongulator put on. And like I said, I do believe Terry sells and carries all these products on his Fox Air Power website. Okay, Donnie FL, Black Arts Design, Fox Air Power. Yeet. Now all we got to do is put the old Scoperino on here. One Scoperino, and I think we're ready to go, gentlemen. Well, of course, we'll have to sight it in, too. Let's see if this one will work. Da, 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 da. You know, guys, getting old is a pain. You know, I just had my birthday. I turned the big 6-0. And, but before that, I've already had to, you can see half the time I'm wearing a back brace and wrist brace. I've been physical my whole life. I'm not one of those cerebral engineers. I use my brain pan for everything. But I do my best to share everything I know with you guys. So I tell people, watch the videos all the way through, because you never know what type of drivel I'm going to come up with that you'll be able to use in the future. All right. Let's get the probe. All right, guys. So this is the probe that I was telling you about for the Elites. See how it's threaded? Still got the 2 O-rings on there. So we're going to put a little bit of jizz juice on that, and then put her on in. So I've had these for almost 20 years. Super Lube anti-corrosive gel, Super Lube synthetic grease, multi-purpose lubricant, you know, and that stuff's all about the same. You know, so literally you don't need anything this big. I mean, like I said, this stuff has lasted, oh gosh, you know, since Moses was in junior high. So I'm just putting a little bit on the rubber. You know, because rubber, that's the weakest point of most of these air rifles is the rubber. Because, you know, seals dry out with time, cold pressure. So now I'm shoving this in. Okay, go so far, and then the threads hit. And then, you know, it's twist it with your finger. I don't know if... my fingers are slick. I'm not sure how much turning I'm actually doing, or is my hand just sliding around. I think we're there. So I'll put the lubricant back in the old bathroom cabinet. Maybe I should have said that to myself. I know most of you guys, a lot of times you ask me, you know, is lubricant necessary on your bullets? And just like I say, you know, with your birth control, it's a personal preference. It doesn't hurt. Some people claim it increases the speed by 2 or 3 feet per second. Keeps the barrel cleaner. I honestly have never investigated that. All I know is when I'm hunting, I carry bullets in my pocket. And I don't want to have a sticky, greasy, lubricated bullet popping out with all sorts of pocket lint Lifesaver and a Tic Tac stuck to it, along with a breath mint. And if you drop it on the floor of your hunting blind or in the ground, now it's got a nice coating of dirt, fuzz, dead caterpillar on it. You can shove that in your barrel? I know I don't. So I don't lubricate other than when I'm sizing and working on the bullets. So again, doesn't hurt. It's your choice. If you want to walk around with greasy hands and greasy fingers, big old grease stain on your pocket so the women can look at you and wonder what you're doing, that's your choice. I'm not getting involved. Another tip for today, once you take your parts off, make sure you got some Ziploc bags you can put them in. Okay, so this is already marked. This is the Elite. I got the muzzle brake and the little lock collar in here. Okay, that way don't lose things, because after you work on 40 or 50 rifles, things are all over the place. So Ziploc bags are always helpful. And if you're ordering anything from me, you want an extra 2 or 3 Ziploc bags, just remind me, hey, Bob, hey, can I get some Ziploc bags? Throw a couple in there. I'll be happy to. So, now let's get started on putting some air in this beast and seeing where we're at, gauge-wise. So, just trying to give you guys a close-up. So, this gauge here, okay, this is the gauge that goes to the air tube. So, this is the one that we do 4,500 in. Gauge on the side is the one that tells you the PSI for your little plenum. This is the one that's more important. So we're going to slowly fill this up to 4,500. If you notice, I've got 2 tanks over here, daisy chained, going through the booster pump. And right now I'm just using the open and close valve, because it's a straight pass-through. I'm not boosting anything. Just working it up. I'm using a gauge that's here to read. I never use a gauge on the rifles. 4,000. The reason I don't use these is A, they're really, really tiny, and they're not as sensitive as the larger gauges are. All right, and I can bleed it, and then now it's undone. And this is what you guys would be doing in the hunting scenario. Of course, I'll be having this set up and left set up because I'll be doing this all day long. All right, gentlemen, we're at 4,500 PSI. We're going to take a shot. And first thing I'm looking at is air consumption per shot. I don't care about speed right now. We're trying to tune this so we're using 300 PSI per shot. That's kind of my goal. That's what we did with the 457. Okay. We're at 3,500 PSI. So we used 1,000 PSI for that first shot. It's way too much. So now we're going to tweak the regulator. And I wrote my notes down so we don't forget. Clockwise to decrease. So fortunately you're going to see the back of my head. Well, maybe I can move this. And you see my Village People porno mustache instead. So, even with my googly glasses, we're about 2,200 PSI. So I want to decrease, so clockwise. So, let's see, if this was a clock, see if we can do this. Okay, so clock would be this way. So we're going to decrease. So there's a turn. Now, unfortunately, it's under pressure, so we'll probably have to shoot it once, and then it'll fill back up, and we'll see what that is. I think we're about 1800 psi. So we'll fill it back to 45 and do it again. That used right about 300 psi. So now I'm going to turn on the chronograph and we'll start getting numbers. I may bring it up just a fraction. Again, this is the work in progress. This is what, and I won't videotape 9 hours of me doing this back and forth, but I'm just showing you how we get started. So at 1800 psi, that's giving us a nice base. We can tweak and go upwards a fraction at a time. Remember, just literally not even a ½ inch, you know, if you've got the wrench up like this, just a ½ inch turn can literally be a couple hundred psi. So now we're going to be very tight on this as we do it. All right, so I'll play with this a little bit and get back to you with some more numbers instead of just watching me forever and ever. Okay, so 1800 psi. I did a 5-shot string. A little low on the speed. I'm in the, I would say, mid 700s. I want to be higher, so I stuck the wrench in and brought it clockwise decreases, counterclockwise increases. So I brought it counterclockwise, which means towards me, just a fraction. So I think I'm right about 1900 psi. Again, little tiny gauge that you're reading right here, your chronograph is going to be your best friend to put you where you want to be. And again, you've got all these different bullet weights. You can fine tune this for one particular bullet. I'm kind of making a general middle of the road. I want to be able to shoot the lighter stuff, but also work my way up to the heavier stuff. So we're still using about 300 psi per shot. I'm getting a little more speed. 5 shots, I ended at 3,300. I know I can shoot more, but I'm just working with what I can squeeze into the magazine. That's another weird thing, is even though the magazine's got 6 holes, I can't really go, I can't get 6 to turn all the way, so I'm just doing the 5. All right, so we're gonna go up again a fraction more, because as a deer hunter, I really don't care about coyotes. In there, okay, so now it's in there, and I'm gonna come towards me. That's counterclockwise, so it's gonna increase the PSI in the plenum or chamber. And I literally didn't go, I don't think I went 1/4 an inch, 3/8 of an inch. So we'll put more air back in it. The one thing I do know about these AEA guns is the rubber and O-rings they have are really hard. So sometimes it takes a while for the air to kind of seep or squeeze past that regulator's O-ring to get into this area. So again, it's just a little bit at a time. Can't. The same thing we did with the 457 video, and I do the same thing with each caliber, you know, as Terry sends them in, because this is what it takes. Now, if all you're going to do is shoot big honking bullets, you can go with a little bit more beef. All right. So, this still looks like it's around 1900, maybe just a little more on this side, but not quite a 2000. We'll say 1900 and a half. Because like I said, these gauges are so small and tiny. The chronograph is your buddy. $3,000. Okay, so we're using a little bit more air, just with that little bit of turn. 1900s. I started high in the 800s, and it slowly declined. Lowest number like 837, 849. Now a little bit more, my speeds, it's starting out higher, but then they're dropping off, and I ended at 3,000. So I think I'm going to leave it where it's at right now, because I know if we go up to 2, it's going to definitely use more air than I want to shoot. At least with the lighter bullets. So we'll put in some bigger slugs and keep jotting numbers down. Go to the bathroom, take a break, get a sandwich, and then come back. All right. Now the 345s. Now these are too big for the magazine. The biggest bullet that fits the magazine is the 310. I think we've got most of our numbers. Let's do some tabulations and we'll kind of see what we can wrap up here. All right, guys. Boy, after 3 days of shooting, there's nothing I like more than sitting down, relaxing with my Fox Air Power Magnum coffee. That's 782% caffeine. Oh yeah. I think I can see through walls. I see a person over there at the mini mart. Oh, this stuff is strong. So, after 3 days, about 500 bullets, these Elites are really cool. I really like them. The one thing I will tell you is, when you do a lot of rapid shooting, like as you've seen me do, your numbers will fluctuate a little bit. You know, it's colder here downstairs. You know, we're in the Great Lakes area. It's a little more humid. I'm inside, and the gun gets cold. I mean, it's cold. And cold air, cold everything does affect your pressures, you know, depending upon how cold it is. So, you're out in the sun, your pressures, you know, your speed, your shots are going to be a little more, I think, evened out than what I deal with when I'm indoors inside. And, you know, I'm rapid. I'm getting a very, very close, you know, not 100% pinpoint, but extremely close values on where everything is supposed to be. The other thing, until you put 300-400 bullets through your rifle, you know, it's still kind of working its way in. You know, as the numbers are going, as the air pressure's moving, you take a shot, it takes a little bit for the air pressure to move from part A to part B to squeeze itself through. So I'm trying to give you as much information as I can to get you as close as possible. So we're taking the mystery out of how to tune and how to set your rifle up. Good cup of Fox Air Power coffee really helps out. And I am making that up because Terry doesn't sell coffee. But he does have these awesome mugs. And if you notice, I'm wearing this super cool t-shirt from David B. at Black Arts Design. Thank you, David. It's perfect for a big fat ass like me. I couldn't say that a few years ago, but I can say it now. You know, hit the big 6-0. So anyways, guys, lots and lots of numbers. I was tweaking this little nut right there, and I'm kidding you. Once you get it set, the thickness of a hair can change how this moves, and your chronograph at that point will be your best friend. I said in the beginning, I was looking at how much air was being used per shot. Once I kind of got in the range, then I started using the chronograph to tighten me up. You know, a little too this way, a little too much this way. And as the same with the 457, and I'm sure all the 357 and the 50, the heavier the bullets, it's going to have a little bit of different change on the valve, the back pressure, the valve. Okay, so that's why sometimes with the real lightweight bullets, you'll get a little bit of odd numbering with the lighter bullet. When you get to the heavier bullet, it's actually sometimes slightly better and your air consumption per shot. Your shots are closer together. Might be slower, but they're closer together. It has to do with the bullet weight and how you've got this tweaked. Okay, my recommendation would be get one bullet that you like, and then fine tune this rifle for that one bullet. You know, and then you're good to go. I did two different. I've got two different charts I'll have in the video. One is right around 1900 psi. I don't know what that is bar. Somewhere around 140, 145 bar. Whatever that equals out to in PSI. Like I said, I'm struggling to read this the best that I can, but that puts us in the area. You don't have a chronograph, go to Amazon and get one. They're not that expensive. You don't need a $300 chronograph that prints out papers and sends you reports to your phone. I mean, that's great if you can afford that. But you can get a $89, $99 job like I got, and it'll do you just fine. So 1900 psi-ish. Okay, so bullet weight wise, 255, 275, 305, and the 345. Now the 345 is a little heavy for this, and you'll have to, if you want to shoot it, you'll have to go single shot. You can, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're going to be in the low 700s across the board for 5 shots. I like being a little bit faster. Now, the longest bullet that will fit in the magazine for the 51 cal on all Challengers is a 310 grain. I didn't shoot it because I was shooting the 305. So I didn't see a point of having a whole other column of speed for 5 more grains of bullet. So it's up to you. So 310, 305, 275, 255 all fit the magazine. Anything longer is going to have to go single shot. Like I said, I did the 345 single shot just for the guys that want the heavier numbers, bigger bullets. You can shoot them, but you're going to be in the low 700s. So, excuse me. At the 1900 psi range, across the board, I'll make it simple. I'll put the charts in so you can see them and you have better understanding. First shot put us in the 400 plus foot-pound range. 430, 434, 466. Okay, 400 foot-pound range. Low side, 366, 405, 391. So you're starting at 400s. You're dropping down to, the low 400s at the bottom. That's at 1900. At 2000 psi, our spread, we're using a little more air per shot. 356, 360, 376, 408 foot-pounds. It's still got an even spread, maybe even a tighter spread between shots, but the overall speed was a little bit slower. So we used a little more air, actually got a little less results. So right around 1900, 1850, 1900, 1950 psi, right around there is going to be the sweet spot to get the most across the board with the assorted bullet weights. Like I said, I'll put the charts in the video. This is not, I didn't get 500 foot-pounds out of this, but I didn't think I would, because the Elite series are tuned for a mid-weight shot count. The idea is they get 5, 6, 7 bullets that are almost identical in speed. For example, the 255, 881, 873, 861, 853, 846. Much closer shot count. Where if this was an unregulated Challenger, it might be 950, 830, 710. You know, a huge spread between 3 shots. So both excellent rifles. It's just these are a tool for a job, and you just got to figure out, do I need a mid-weight bullet gun or do I need a heavy-duty bone breaker? It's up to you. But these both will kill deer. Ain't no problem with that. Just remember, shot placement is always key on any rifle, especially under 400 foot-pounds. Shot placement is much more critical. So, I said I've got the barrel band on there from David at Black Arts Design. Saw me put that on. I got the old donkey schlong on here. I believe that Terry carries all the parts. Lubricated your O-rings when you put in your fill probe. You saw me shooting it with the magazine, and then I was doing single shot. I didn't make a tray, but I was sticking them in there. This is pretty much ready to rock and roll right out the box. You know, like I said, I believe in barrel bands on everything, just like me, you know, I believe in circumcision, because it really helps you tame this pipe, and that's just a key ingredient. I will say with this longer, I'm not sure if it's the length, but my point of aim did change quite a bit, almost 7 to 9 inches further to the left once I put this on. It's not clipping. That's all I'm thinking about. It must be some air turbulence. But I had the same issue, and I talked about that when I was setting up all the rifles to go to the Ted Nugent trip last year. The point of aim changed quite a bit once I took the suppressor off. So I don't know if a shorter suppressor would change that. I'm not sure. I'll have to see what options are available. This is a great cami here at the moment. These are just things that I've noticed. I throw this out, so if it happens to you, you're not freaking. You're going, oh yeah, that's right, Bob told me about that. My point of aim changes, or you know, it's not anything freaky deaky here. It's just something you got to be aware of. Of course, you know, you'd like your point of aim not only an inch off from on or off, but at the moment that's not what's happening. So I think that's it, gentlemen. Again, any questions about this rifle, contact Terry Fox at Fox Air Power. Barrel bands, either Terry again or David at Black Arts Design. Donkey schlong, I think you got to go to Terry for these. I'm not sure what Donnie's doing at the moment. So that is it. Any questions about bullets, contact me for sure. Terry carries those also. I think we've covered everything I can cover out of the open to box. You know, getting these tuned and tweaked to me is the most important part. Going out shooting afterwards is, you know, we can always do that later, and that's what we will do. Unfortunately, the snow is starting to hit, so I'll try to get out before, you know, it starts getting deep. We'll just see what happens, you know, but I don't really enjoy shooting air guns in, you know, 27-degree weather, but we'll see what happens. So I think that's it, guys. We burned through about 4 tanks of air, close to 500 bullets. A couple of days. Again, having a schlongulator helps shoot in the basement so you don't stroke out the cat. And any questions, like I said, you know, Terry Fox, Fox Air Power. And I'll have his contact information at the bottom. And I think that's it now for Mr. Hollow Point. My name is Robert Vogel, by the way. People call me Mr. Hollow Point. So that's it. When you contact me directly, give me all your contact information, guys. I hate it when I get nothing but a text going, what's your best bullet? No other information. You're not telling me who you are. You're not telling me anything. Come on. Common courtesy, you know. Hey, I'm Joe Blow. I'm shooting a Challenger. What's your best bullet? At least give me something. You know, give a dog a bone here, brother. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. Keep warm. And we'll come back at you later with some more fun and excitement. Mr. Hollow Point is out of here.
Bye.